Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we are back with more mods, tools, and add-ons. A couple of really neat things have come out since the release of Sim Update 11 and a couple just from the past, so stick around guys. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkill's tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below. Alright, so first off, the beautiful part about all of these is they can all be picked up from our beloved Flightsim.to. If you guys are somehow still unaware of this, it is your one-stop shop for the best mod, tools, add-ons, liveries, and sceneries that I think Microsoft Flight Simulator currently has available. They're absolutely fantastic. You got some amazing developers here and a very, very easy and very intuitive website to find what you are looking for. So getting into our first one, coming out again from Sim Update 11, we have the Duckworks DC3 Improvement Mod. Now we'll be showcasing this on the channel over the next day or so, but I can tell you I have flown it and it is an absolutely wonderful enhancement. Make no mistake guys, the DC3 that came with Sim Update 11 is already a very, very good aircraft. It's a ton of fun, but when you have incredible developers such as IMS working on things like this, you can't beat it, right? So the DC3 Improvement Mod, what does it do? It improves the low speed and in ground effect characteristics, replacing windshield and Windows details map with more accurate and high resolution textures, engine flight model adjustments, stability and accuracy improvements. And guys, for those of you who don't know, this particular developer is also one of the big developers from none other, if you guys recognize this icon, the Flybywire team. So you can count on the product of this, or the quality of this mod being above par. Obviously, all of the team members over at Flybywire are fantastic, but Nvme does a wonderful, wonderful job, and I hope I'm saying your name right. But anyways, guys, feel free to pause the screen and take a look at the full changelog here and what it actually brings to the aircraft. Now, it does specifically state work in progress, guys, so please keep that in mind. Things may not be perfect, but certainly it is a fantastic enhancement. I spent a little bit of time this morning flying the default version around, sort of getting an idea for some of the changes, then immediately repeated the flight with the improvement mod here, and there was definitely a very significant difference in the performance of the aircraft. Now, coming from someone who doesn't know much about the DC3 in the aspect that I've clearly never flown one in real life, I can simply tell you that the changes from a simulation standpoint, from a simmer who has never flown the real aircraft, that still you could absolutely tell that there was a massive difference in the way it handled, seemed much more realistic, seemed much smoother. With some of these older aircraft, I think where the improvements really start to shine is when you start to feel like the aircraft is doing what you're expecting it to do. And that's what a lot of these improvement mods really aim to do, and they do a wonderful, wonderful job. Now, keep in mind, guys, I've heard people comments that, oh, it shouldn't take improvement mods to make the aircraft great. Keep in mind, this was already a free aircraft. So a free aircraft with a free modification, I have no problem with it. My only argument to improvement mods being necessary is when you have to have an improvement mod to increase the accuracy and effectiveness of a payware. If you are going to sell your aircraft and then it's so bad that someone else has to turn around and put an improvement mod out for a payware aircraft, yeah, that kind of sucks. There's one in particular aircraft that this same developer actually did one for that is a perfect example. Nvme does a wonderful, wonderful job with another particular aircraft. I don't want to mention it because I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but if you just simply click his name here, you will find it, and I guarantee you'll probably know which one I'm talking about if you already own it. Anyway, jabbered on that one for a long time. Let's move on. Next up, we have the Bell 407 Improvement Mod. Now, guys, we all know this thing was, let's just call it black and white. It was in pretty rough shape on the day of launch. It was a pretty bad, yeah, let's call it that. And this particular modification has done another fantastic job. Now, again, the 407 was free, so I'm not complaining. But it's really nice to have skilled developers who know how to modify these aircraft to bring them to a much more realistic standpoint. And again, this is one that I actually did a before and after video on. I did a video one day just simply showcasing the 407. The next day I found this mod and we did another video on it. So if you guys want to check out the before and after videos, links to them, or you can find them on my channel. I mean, like I said, within the last few days, so they should be in the most recent posts. But he is also doing a fantastic job with the updating. He is constantly, I mean, just look at these dates, excuse me. So 15th, 2 on the 17th here, 14th, I mean, and I think it released on the 12th, if I remember correctly. I could be mistaken. Maybe the 14th was the initial release. But nope, I was right. Initial release the 12th. This is another one that has done absolutely amazing work with this helicopter and really turned it into something quite fun to fly. I have a good time flying the 407 now. And the reason why I was super excited about this one was because the 407 is a really iconic helicopter. I mean, if you've watched Andy Kopp show, you've seen this one. Like, at least I feel like you've seen something very similar to it. Okay, definitely got that Bell personality there. I kind of dig the yellow lighting. Kind of okay with that. It's a significantly much needed improvement to the lighting system. The green backlighting that came with the default version is just not only an eyesore, but it was way too much. And the dimmer overhead doesn't work. You can turn it either all the way off or they're on, but I couldn't get the dimmer to actually work. So it's really, really powerful. So again, the yellow light is a really nice improvement as well. And definitely the flight model performance and the engine power was a very welcome change. The aircraft's significantly faster. You can over torque it now. Yeah, you got to pay attention now. Pretty cool. This one, the DHC2 Beaver Action Pack. Now, I didn't get into the action pack of it yesterday, but we did do a video on this particular mod yesterday, which again changed the flight model dynamics and a few other quality of life enhancements, as well as some visual effects to the aircraft, and really brought it out to shine. Now, the aircraft was already a fun one to fly, and before you guys can say it, no, you are not allowed to pull the Harrison forward and land it on a taxiway. Yeah, I said it, and that's only because one of my viewers already pointed that out. If you see this, you know who you are. So no doing that, but it is an absolutely wonderful aircraft. Now, this is one of the things he did to the amphibious version is he actually added the water spray. And I think this is the first aircraft I've seen that actually has this much more realistic effect. I really enjoy the way this looks. I did fly this one around last night after I did my first video of it just to check it out. And yeah, major difference. You can actually look out the cockpit window and see the spray. Really cool effect. Really added quite a bit to it. I was digging this one. But it is a fun aircraft, guys. So even if you just choose not to go with the DHC2 Beaver Action Pack, definitely fly the aircraft. I mean, the de Havilland DHC2 is a fun one. If you find yourself liking it, grab this add-on. It is absolutely worth it. And did quite a few tweaks to it that, again, most of its quality of life and visual effect improvements, but certainly adjusted the flight model as well. Certainly no stranger to mods, tools, and add-ons on this channel is the Hype Performance Group, and where it all began with the H135 Helicopter project. They have updated it to be compatible with Sim Update 11. For those of you who don't know, the Hype Performance Group has two helicopters. You have the H145, which is their payware version, extremely recommended, as well as and if you're going to go that route, I recommend the H145 Action Pack. You can do emergency transport, medical transport, fire rescue, fire bombing, you name it. There's all kinds of really awesome stuff. Cargo missions, rappel missions with Coast Guard, tons of really cool stuff. Definitely check out the action pack if you go with the payware version. But if you're someone who wants to stick to the freeware, absolutely you need to grab the HPG 135 Helicopter project. This was the first natively operated helicopter within Microsoft Flight Simulator. When I say natively operated, it means that it required no third-party software in order to work. It was the first helicopter that I'm aware of that worked in Microsoft Flight Simulator without the SDK supporting it. Meaning before Microsoft Flight Simulator could technically handle helicopters, these guys at HPG somehow made it work. And it was a fantastic Fantastic inclusion into the Microsoft Flight Simulator world. The HPG 135 is just as much fun as the 145. You get access to some really cool sceneries. There's still obviously very cool events that you can do with the 135. Wonderful, wonderful liveries and a great flight model. This thing is a ton of fun. Make sure you guys check this out. And I promise, if you end up liking the 135, take my word for it, please, and jump all over that 145. With the release of Sim Update 11, a lot of us are experiencing micro stutters, and some far worse than micro stutters. So real quick, guys, if you are someone who is experiencing micro stutters, please make sure that you go into the task manager, go to details, find flightsimulator.exe, right click on it, go to CPU priority and set it to high. Do not go above high. Otherwise you could possibly crash your whole computer, but at least go to high, and you will find that those micro stutters or very large stutters smooth out if they completely. If not, they at least reduce significantly. So there's your tip there. However, if you're someone who is not interested in using the live weather, and this is where I bring that in, is because one of the ways that I have actually found to remove the stuttering is to take your simulator offline. That's another tip, but a very bad one, as that is not much fun. But if you're someone who does fly offline or does not like to use live weather, getting to what we're here for, Floyd's Epic Clouds is an absolutely beautiful static weather set. So it does not use live weather, but it has a bunch of very beautiful, as I said, presets. Did a wonderful job with the clouds. The volumetric textures of them is wonderful. The gorgeous, I mean, look at the rain. The rain that he's done here with the sun, with the time and the sunsets. Look at this. I mean, it's I don't know how else to say it. Gorgeous. Like, what do you want me to say? Look at the dual layer canopy. I love flying through these. I think it's so cool. Quick story. I was flying out of Boston, and we were flying through a storm one day when I was coming back to Tucson from a business trip. And we had 2 layers of clouds that were completely thick, like this top one here. They were completely covered, right? So you had the terrain completely covered, and then you had a second layer that was just like this. Dudes, when I tell you guys that was the weirdest and only time that I have blatantly gotten positional disorientation, that was creepy. Okay, so obviously I'm on an airliner, so I couldn't see out the front window. I obviously didn't have access to the instruments. So just looking out the side window, it took a matter of seconds before ascertaining up versus down became a little weird. Like, to this day, that was such a weird experience. It's not so bad when you can see the mountaintops and things like that, obviously, because it makes it very easy to determine, oh, hey, there's the ground. But when you have completely solid cloud on top, completely solid cloud on the bottom, weird experience. Anyway, so definitely check out Floyd's Epic Clouds. Even if you're someone who does live weather and you just want some really beautiful scenery, guys, give this one a shot. I promise you'll like it. He's done a wonderful job with this. We all know that I am a beloved fan of the Cessna Citation Longitude, although Citation, we might want to fix that. But the Citation Longitude, I already used the Improvement Mod, which is absolutely fantastic as well. But this gentleman here has done a Texture Improvement Mod, which I actually really dig. Now, we're going to be seeing the Longitude later on in the week. That's why I'm not actually showing you guys direct images from my cockpit, because we do have a video coming with the Longitude later in the week. So stay tuned for that. But you can see what he's done here is sort of flattened out the images, reduced a lot of the glossiness and the shininess and the reflection on surfaces that where it shouldn't have been there, and really brought the aircraft to life. I can tell you that I have already put this into my sim, checked out the cockpit, and there was a major visual improvement with something such a simple fix. And when I say simple, I just mean like, if you read here, he says he takes the glossy and shiny look out of it. So when I say simple, it doesn't mean that it actually was simple to do. I have no idea. I don't do texture modeling. But you obviously didn't have to rebuild the whole thing. And I am rambling today. Holy crap. Anyway, so make sure you guys check this one out. If you are a fan of the Cessna Citation Longitude, again, it makes it very, very easy on how to install it. So make sure you guys read that very carefully. It's a little bit different than what you're probably used to, so pay attention, please. But very, very nicely done. I was very impressed with this one. All right, TFFG, St. Martin Airport scenery. I wanted to throw this one in because you guys know how much I absolutely love the Caribbean. I fly out there all the time. I'm always over at St. Bart's at TFFJ. I'm always at Princess Juliana, TNCM, and TFFG is actually a really fun flight. If you want to do something cool, come out of TFFG, do a quick circle around the island because you got to see the beautiful scenery that this scenery mod improves on, and then take it over to St. Bart's and land on runway 10. Make sure you set your winds accordingly because you won't always get it if you do live weather. But this is a really fun hop from TFFG over to TFFJ. Really cool flight, very short and simple, about 30-45 minutes, maybe tops, that you can be back down on the ground. But this particular mod has fixed many of the issues on the airport, and just, again, it's already an incredibly beautiful scenery. So anytime I see the Caribbean enhancements, guys, I jump all over this stuff. So make sure you guys grab this one and make sure you guys hang out in the Caribbean sometime over the weekend. It is a beautifully relaxing flight, especially if you just do a little bit of island hopping, and this is a great addition. There is also a TFFJ scenery mod, and there is a TNCM scenery mod that you guys can grab simply by searching up here for either one of those. Add the three together and you've got a wonderful Caribbean experience for your weekend flying. As always, guys, I hope that you have absolutely enjoyed some of these mods. I hope you found some cool things to do over the next couple of days based on this video. Thank you guys all for the continued support. And as always, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.